Good evening, everyone. This is Whiskey Wednesday Weekly. Ken Boone is your host, and obviously this week we're in a beautiful setting at a good friend of mine, Dr. Chaz Rhinehart. He's a local here in Valley Center. I don't really know how world-renowned he is. I know he's well-known. I know that people travel to see him. I'll let him get into all his history and everything that he's done in the past. But as far as all that goes, I can certainly tell you that the short time that I've got to know him over the last probably 7 years from Little League, a few of my guests have been known from Little League. Yep. He's an amazing person. He's treated our family well. He takes care of all of our family members, including my mother-in-law and many people that we've referred to him. So with that being said, Dr. Chaz tonight will be telling a little bit about his story, maybe a little bit where he came from, maybe a little bit on what made him become a doctor, and ultimately he has chosen to defer the whiskey, this is my, I want to say, second guest. But the good news is he actually makes his own kombucha, hard kombucha. So he will be experimenting and giving me some kombucha to try, and I'll be chasing kombucha with whiskey. I don't know how that's going to work, but
it's part of your adventurous spirit.
It's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a fun time. And he is going to be starting a new business with kombucha, but we'll bring that up a little bit later and let him have his chance to discuss that because I don't know anything about it myself. So it's exciting. That being said, we'll just kind of get him a quick introduction. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're at, what your practice is, how many kids you have, all that good stuff.
Thanks for that introduction. That's great. Well, I'm from Valley Center, born and raised.
Didn't even know that myself.
Yeah, all the way back.
Wow.
So 1969 here, born and raised. Even went to Valley Center School.
Wow, really?
Went to Orange Glen, which is back then we didn't have a high school. Valley Center high school. We had Orange Glen, so we went to Orange Glen. When I graduated high school, I went to Vail, Colorado to go ski for a year. Part of being an adventurous spirit is to, I knew I was going to become some sort of doctor. I didn't know what type at that point.
That was your dream, to be a doctor.
Yeah, something. I didn't know what type. I knew I was going to investigate it. I was going to make that decision as I was doing my general education.
Okay.
Right. So, but I took a year off. During that year in Vail, I injured my back.
Okay.
Pretty bad.
Okay.
And I was a bump skier, so I used to go down the moguls. That was my thing.
So, wow.
Yeah, it was fun. We had a great time until the injuries.
Okay.
So in that original injury, I flew home because my dad said, okay, well, let's get you home.
Okay.
And let's take care of you here because I was off as an 18-year-old in Colorado, and everybody in my family was Valley Center, so I came back home. He said, why don't you go try this chiropractor? His name was Don LaForte. And he was here in Valley Center. He said, why don't you go see this guy? I heard they can fix...
For your back, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard they can fix backs.
Okay.
So I went in, and before I did that, I went to see a medical orthopedist, and the orthopedist said, you're not looking good. You have compressed discs. These things can go to surgery.
Wow.
You're young enough. Hopefully physical therapy, maybe 4 to 6 months, should do the trick, but otherwise, other than that, you'll be in back surgery.
Right.
So that was my prognosis.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, pretty guarded.
Right.
Okay? So,
very scary.
So my dad said, why don't you try a chiropractor? I went over to see Don LaForte. He did an exam. He said, yes, you got a compressed disc. Let's decompress them. I went, I don't know what that means. Here, I'm 18 years old.
18, just do what you got to do.
He rolled me on the side. He went, whoop. He did something called a lumbar roll one way, lumbar roll the other way, and I stood up. And I was leaning over like this for the last month.
Okay. So you actually went
So immediately it made a difference.
Okay.
And I went, wow. He goes, I want to see you 10 times. And I said, okay, I'm down with it. It's helping. So I came back.
I'm not paying the bill either.
My father was. After about 5 visits, I was 90% better.
Oh, wow.
About 5 visits, I was 90% better. I went, that is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And he said, what do you want to do with your life? I said, I was thinking about being a doctor. My cousin's a dentist. My father's a nationally acclaimed optometrist with vision therapy. And we have some doctors in the family. So I was thinking I wanted to be some sort of doctor, but I hadn't chose which type yet. And he goes, wait, you need to look at chiropractic.
And this is who?
This was Don LaForte.
Okay.
Yeah,
the chiropractor.
he said, you need to look at that.
Okay.
He goes, literally, I lay my hands on people and they get well underneath my fingers.
Okay.
And I went, okay.
Sounds
I
cool.
need proof.
Yeah.
So, long story short, I investigated chiropractic and here we are.
That's how we go.
Yeah, that's how we started.
Well, the good news is that you opened up for a shot of, we can pour some kombucha.
There we go.
Let's get some kombucha in my sipping glass.
Yeah, we'll do...
Tell us a little bit about this one. What flavor is this?
This is traditional.
Okay.
So The business that we're starting is Dr. Boochhart's.
Okay.
Dr. Boochhart's Elixir of Life. That's
Okay.
what this is called.
All right.
Now, this is different. So it is hard. So it's
Okay.
about 6% alcohol.
All right.
But what I've done, and I trademarked and patented this whole thing so I can talk about it now, we've added homeopathics, vitamins, and herbs to it
Okay.
to counterbalance the negative effects of alcohol.
Oh, this is going to be perfect.
Yeah!
I love it. You didn't even know that.
Great?
Yeah.
So people are going to drink.
Yeah.
My patients are going to drink.
Right,
the
right.
world is going to drink.
Yeah.
And we know a lot of alcohol in excess causes cardiovascular disease, liver disease, brain infarct. It's a heavy oxidative stressor. It's linked with cancer, a whole bunch of diseases when it's in excess.
Right.
So it came to me. I have the tools necessary and the information to be able to counter that, and we've done tests to see what herbs counterbalance what forms of alcohol.
Nice.
We've added, and along with homeopathics, we've added to the formulas.
Oh.
It's not quite a neutral tasting base, so I still have a little herbal flavor in
Okay,
it.
got it.
And believe me, herbs and vitamins don't taste that great.
No. I'm very scared, actually.
When we're talking about cleansing the body,
Of course.
protecting the body from...
Yeah.
So we're still working on that. It should taste pretty good.
Okay,
actually.
good.
This one should be
Go ahead and pour me about 2
Yeah.
inches, because that'll be kind of my sipper.
There we go.
You can do what you want with it. If you
Alright.
want to do a shot of it, because
Alright.
I'm going to do.
So this
what's
is
interesting is
kombucha.
that's 6%. Mine's 47.5%. First shot is Jim Beam single barrel.
There you go. You might need a few of these to counterbalance it.
Well, wait until we get into this later. All my stuff is pretty high proof. So, but
Alright.
because I am going to be doing some mixing tonight,
There we go.
and
Here's your
thank
chaser.
you, beautiful.
Why don't you try that right now? Just give it a little
Okay,
taste
okay.
in the clear. Now, kombucha is a kombucha.
Yeah, so you mean don't use it as a chaser?
No, you might want to drink it alone.
That's good.
It's not that bad.
That is very good.
That's pretty good.
Actually, I mean, it could use some ice. Actually,
Yes.
like I'm just saying.
Yeah,
like,
if
on
you add
cold,
it
that
out,
would be
out
super
here
nice,
in the
yeah.
heat, I didn't bring any ice.
No, but Jim Beam on nothing is really good.
No, but you ever have Jim Beam rye? I like the rye whiskey.
That's one I haven't had yet.
Oh, it's their best, and it's
That
the
is
least
good, though.
expensive. So.
I do like. I mean, Jim Beam, like you said, it's kind of like you can go every day. But this is very refreshing.
This
to be
is
honest.
nice.
Yeah,
Is this nice?
it's very smooth. Oh God.
So we're the
Like
first.
you said, after that is tough.
Yeah, we're the first of its kind, the first company to actually produce, and we're going to do with beer,
Okay.
produce a alcoholic beverage,
Uh-huh.
because people like to drink,
Right.
that protects the body from
From
the
alcohol.
ravenous effects of alcohol.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So,
So, you know what's funny is you bring this up, and we'll definitely talk more about his process because I'm looking at some really funky stuff out here that comes into making this stuff. So
yeah.
it'll be interesting to get into that a little bit too. And excuse me, there will be probably some glow and some sunshine behind us, but the lighting is good. We look good
Okay.
as far as the lighting. Just
Well,
letting everyone know.
You look good.
I didn't mean it like that. But ultimately, though, I did want to. You know what I realized is this might be picking up our feet if I drag my feet, so I'm going to put it down there. No, that's all right. I'll just slide my feet, and the
All right.
microphone's going to be picking up scratching noises.
This might be blocking the auditory. though.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe. I'll just make sure I don't put my feet down on the ground. How about that?
Yeah.
Sorry about
Just
that,
move it.
everybody. But ultimately, I did want to talk to you about what's interesting is I went to Vail for a year after
Oh,
high
really?
school.
Did you really?
I lived in Vail, Colorado to ski.
Wow, you did not.
Exactly.
What? That would be a couple years behind me.
I don't even remember
Yeah,
the year.
right
I
after
went in
high
the
school.
Navy in '91,
Yeah.
so I was,
So I was
like
there.
89.
I was there in '87.
Oh man,
88.
it was '89.
Yeah, I was '87. 88.
Hilarious.
Oh,
when you
that's
said that, I'm like, I
amazing.
can't wait to tell.
Where
about
did you
that.
live?
So some
In
apartments
Lion's Head
in
or
Vail.
something?
I worked for the mountain.
You did.
So I went.
I worked
literally-
at Maui Traders.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
just
that's
so
little ski
funny that you
shop.
said
Yeah,
that. And I
yeah.
got into snowboarding, and
Oh,
then I came home and joined the military, and the rest
Oh.
is history. But it's just funny how you say that.
Yeah, that's.
So let's go into you talk about, you decided to, or this doctor said do chiropractic. Was there anything in between, from when he said that? What did you do next? What was your, was there any defining moments that made you, or is that pretty much it? You just went boom, that's it.
Once he fixed me, I went, oh, I need to look into this. I went to orientation. I said, okay, this sounds like it's for me. It felt right.
Okay.
Right. And at the time, I was searching for something that felt right. Because a lot of the medical sciences were a little bit foreboding
Okay.
in the fact that some of it I already knew I didn't want to be a drug pusher.
Okay.
I didn't want to do,
Yeah.
I might do surgery.
Sure.
I wouldn't mind being a surgeon, and that would be great. But I I knew I didn't want to be a family GP, and I didn't want to do a lot of prescriptions. At that time, I had heard nature cures, and I wasn't sure what that meant yet.
Okay.
And so as I started looking at a chiropractic, I went, oh, this is a good match for me.
Okay.
So I went through chiropractic college.
Where was that?
That was Los Angeles College of Chiropractic.
Oh, so you went to LA.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And
now
you moved there, lived there,
yeah,
did
lived there, the whole thing.
How long
so
is that?
It's a 10-semester program.
Okay.
So during that, they mirror it with Harvard Medical School for chiropractic, same curriculum.
Got it.
They get drugs, we get x-rays.
Got it.
Okay, so they get, pharmaceuticals, and we get more diagnosis for x-rays and MRIs.
I gotcha.
So it's kind of that trade, but it's a similar program. Went through that, and then I experienced something that was a life changer.
Okay.
And this is where the holistic part started.
Oh, okay. So you were actually just going to chiropractic?
Yeah,
correct?
I was in chiropractic.
Okay,
college.
it was not holistic yet.
It was very stressful.
Got it.
I grew up dyslexic, actually.
Okay.
Believe that or not.
That would be hard.
Yeah. So dyslexic, dyslexia can shift your words when you're reading. You have to read it several times in order to get the context.
Does it affect your writing, or is it more reading?
It was reading.
Reading, okay.
And it was speaking at that time. So, and I grew up that way. So I had a dyslexia in my tone and my canter of my voice, and my expletives.
Oh, okay.
I had to study twice as hard as everyone else.
Okay.
So it was very difficult.
I can imagine.
Oof, but I had a strong work ethic.
Yeah.
So I had that pushing me through. And I knew I wanted it. When you want something, you make it happen.
Just do it.
So
not that many episodes. Just do it.
So through chiropractic college, and plus I grew up with sciatica. So since I was in a high chair.
Is that a back thing too?
It's a referred pain down the leg.
Okay.
And I had that since I was in a high chair.
Oh, good Lord.
So I was already.
You were really straight too. You had
damaged good,
sciatica, and then you had a back injury at 18.
We didn't want to talk about my childhood, but here's a violin.
That's all right, bring it up.
So anyway, so what happens is I have these pain syndromes. So I have sciatica, I have dyslexia. I didn't quite have a natural birth and a natural childbirth.
Okay.
And I can attribute a lot of it to
that, yeah.
So anyway, so in chiropractic college, I get a condition probably from stress called a hiatal hernia.
Heard of that.
Right.
Don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's where the stomach pushes up through the diaphragm.
Okay.
And not to get caught on this,
Sure.
but this is just part of the story.
Yeah.
So it put me in the hospital. And the medical team was trying to diagnose me. Now I was a student, and I had my parents here, but I was independent.
Right.
So the bills were going to be mine.
Oh, God.
Okay, so they're going to be my bills. And it was cash.
Oh, great.
Right? So it went $10,000, $20,000 in the hospital. I'm like, I got to get out of here. I can't afford this.
Oh, my God.
And they did so many different diagnostic tests, and they came up with 3 differentials. One was not a hiatal hernia, pancreatitis. They said a stomach ulcerative colitis. They had a few different diagnoses, but none of them seemed to exactly match my symptoms. So I went over to the school clinic and I found a chiropractor. I heard a chiropractor who knew how to fix stomachs.
Okay.
And I didn't know what that meant yet, because we were supposed to fix spines.
Right.
So he was an applied kinesiologist who does muscle testing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So.
Again, all new terms to you. Right.
So all new, and I didn't know what to expect. So I went over and I saw this student doctor. He wasn't even a doctor at the time. He was a clinician and a resident for the chiropractor. So he says, you have a classic case of what's called category 2 and a hiatal hernia. So he explained what that was.
Right.
I'm not going to belabor that.
Right.
So anyway, long story short, he fixes me in like 2 visits.
Okay.
I'm like, wow, that was amazing. That was awesome.
Right.
What is this and how do I learn it?
Yeah.
Right? And
that's amazing.
So long story short, we became, Holly and I, we became lovers in chiropractic college.
I was going to ask, because he's married with children.
Yes,
so
but I didn't get to.
That's right. I was going to ask how you met her. Okay.
So I have 3 children.
Uh-huh.
I have Wyatt is my youngest, and I have Isaiah's my middle, and then Carly's my eldest.
Right.
And she's 23 now, and Isaiah's 19, and Wyatt's 17.
Yeah, they're all super gorgeous, good, successful kids, all that good stuff.
they're-
All from their mother, of course.
Yeah, of
the little
course.
for sure. But in reality, though, Holly, you met her in college then?
Yeah.
So she was doing the same thing, or just at a different
She was
school?
already holistic, and she was in my class.
Oh, okay.
So we fell in love at the first day.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to. We both had boyfriend and girlfriends.
Oh, really?
She looked over at me. I kind of looked at her. We had a
Yeah.
little staring contest during
Yeah.
orientation, and
That's
I didn't
awesome.
look away. She didn't look away. I didn't
Next
look
thing you
away.
knew.
She didn't look away, and it kept going until I was sweating.
Oh, my God.
It was awful.
That's hilarious.
But I thought to myself, I'm not going to look away.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
think she thought the same thing.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to
gonna
look
break.
away.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
going to break.
That's awesome. Well, before we get into the next part, speaking of sweating, I have to do another shot.
Oh, okay,
So
well, I'll do another big gulp of kombucha.
Yes, you
How about
definitely need
that?
to do another kombucha. Now, this is I've only had this bottle once on the show, and it's Frank Sinatra Jack Daniels. It's an extremely select bottle. It's but I brought it for you because I haven't had it in a while, and my daughter brought it for me. So when I interview certain guests, I like to break it out. So it's only the second time I've had it. So
all right.
It is so good.
You know, it's great. You didn't even make a face.
It is so
You just
good.
went right to, it's good.
It is so
Yeah.
good. And it really, really is. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, that's why it's lasted since Father's Day.
Does it have heat, moss? What's it?
It's definitely got heat.
Yeah, it's got heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see the
But
heat in your eyes.
it's super smooth.
Yeah.
I don't know what's in it. Like I said,
It's
I don't break
a
it down.
sipping whiskey. And you
Of
shot
course.
that.
They are all sipping.
Yeah, exactly.
The last episode, I said, whiskey's not really intended to be shot.
Bam!
Unless it's like sweet or something, but I do it because I want to get
This
it
is
done.
not a tequila where the guy comes over with a towel over your
Right,
face,
right. Does
and
the pop-
blows the whistle, and shakes your head.
Yeah.
No.
There's only one whiskey up here tonight I haven't had, and that's the Japanese.
Oh, we'll
Satori.
see what happens.
So first time I've ever had it. So that'll be interesting.
Origato.
It's supposed to be like they say Japanese whiskey is supposed to be amazing.
Yeah.
It came out on the scene, I mean, it's been big, but bottles started flying off them. Now all of a sudden they've kind of calmed down. Not that it's not, but they just started making so much that now it's a big deal. So that's pretty cool. So now you're in holistic.
Yeah.
You didn't start yet, but you had this holistic doctor treat you.
Yep.
Now you're still in chiropractic school.
Turned our buttons on for applied kinesiology, which is a form of muscle testing and diagnosis. It frees the practitioner up to be able to look at more than the spine.
Okay.
You can look at not only the spine, but you can look at the nervous system. You can look at the organs
Okay.
and the systems.
How
and the
do you look
zones
at it?
With kinesiology, with muscle
Got it.
testing.
Okay,
Muscle
okay.
testing is a series of reflexes that tells the practitioner what's going on and where the problem is.
Okay, I only asked that because Reese, who wants to be in sports medicine or
Yeah.
whatever, has heard and thought, do I be a kinesiologist?
Okay, now that's different.
Okay,
So that'd be a physical therapist kinesiologist.
Kinesiologist,
yes.
okay,
So
so-
that means study of muscles.
I got it.
You're
And-
studying muscle strength, organ
Yes,
insertion,
yes, okay,
function,
so kinesi-
exercise rehab. Applied kinesiology.
I got it. Is where you're doing muscle testing,
you're
which is when you
testing,
take
yeah.
my arm and
Yeah.
you're
You're
touching
using a
certain spots.
peripheral muscle
Okay.
as an indicator for reflexes.
Got it.
So-
Okay. Yeah. And I mean, that's if you guys have never been to a holistic doctor, it's an experience for sure. But yeah, I don't ever understand the terminology he's throwing at me,
Yeah.
other than we're going to muscle test you, so I know
Yeah,
that. But I didn't know
exactly.
how that's different from
Yeah.
normal kinesiology.
Yeah,
That's pretty
exactly,
cool.
yeah.
Now, did you have to continue education from there, or
That
you
that took its own series of seminars
Oh,
and schooling. So we
okay.
did that parallel to chiropractic
parallel
at the same
Good
time.
Lord,
Yeah.
dude.
So we were pathogenic students, we'll say.
Okay.
I mean, that's what we did. We studied,
Okay.
and it was good. Holly was my study partner.
I got it. Yeah, so you fell in love with your study partner.
So, and we want to spend time
Yeah,
together
that's what
anyway.
I'm saying, it's
So,
easy, yeah.
it was easy. It worked out really well. And she's an information junkie, still
Yeah.
information junkie.
Yeah.
I mean, we've started our own school.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
The
you're
Institute
teaching
for
classes
Holistic
and all that
Medicine.
stuff.
We've started
That's
our own
unreal.
curriculum.
Yeah.
I have my own technique called holistic kinesiology.
Yeah.
This is a whole nother thing.
Yeah, you guys read more than like people watch TV. I mean, I'm just saying, like that's a big number because a lot of people, society just watches TV, and you guys read so much. You're so informed in so many things. It's unreal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It almost scares me a little bit sometimes because I feel like, good Lord, man, I feel so bad that I'm like just chilling and sitting back having whiskey, and Chaz is probably like reading a giant book or something tonight.
Well, when we sit back and we have a kombucha,
Yeah.
we're still talking, about shop, science, business, holism.
But it's your passion.
Yeah, it's what we do.
Let's be honest.
It
I mean,
is.
it's not
what we
just
do.
your job; it's your
Yeah,
passion,
it
and
is.
that's why you're so successful.
And health is so important to us. I mean, both of us had our health challenges,
Mhm.
and I certainly had a lot myself. And if we could save one person, it makes the whole thing worth it.
That's funny. I mean, I do not compare this show to your practice at all. But when we bring up people's stories, like Robin Graciano had breast cancer, and if you can just help one person, you asked me a little earlier why I do it. It's because somebody's message could get out.
Yes,
That
absolutely.
someone could be struggling with depression,
Right.
or going through something like that, and they see her story or a person's story who lost a person, and you're like, oh, that's how they did it. that's how they got through it. And it really does make a difference. I mean, that's the hope, right? That we all make a difference,
I would
right?
say so.
Yeah. We're not going to be here forever. So
it reminds me of that stories sell and facts tell. You know, kind of saying.
Yeah.
So
now that you've done that, which is kind of cool, all right, let's take us through, like, okay, you're out of school. How old are you now? Did you guys decide to open a practice right away? Did you guys decide to live together?
I went through another very big shift. So the big shift for me, I needed something more on more of a soul level.
Okay.
To match my intention, which was to be a healer.
Okay.
So even though I had semantics, I had technique, I had the brains for it. I had the left brain. I didn't have the right brain.
Okay.
The left brain is algorithmic. A hits B, hits C, hits D.
Okay.
It's logical. It does math. It does science. All that. The right brain's the heart. It's the feeling. It's the field. It's the intuition. It's the part of us that is spirit, that connects us to our feminine, balance with our masculine, the one that has abundant compassion and understanding.
Okay.
That's what I needed help with.
Now, how do you gain that, though, if it's something that you can't read about?
That's
really?
a good question.
Okay.
I asked, and I asked the Holy Spirit for it.
Okay.
So after I asked the Holy Spirit, I said, Lord, earnestly, I want to be close to you, but make me a healer.
Right.
And the very next day, we took a trip to Mammoth.
Okay.
And
skiing, Mammoth?
Skiing,
okay.
Mammoth. So we went skiing. It was the winter time. I went with my college buddies. We were just about ready to graduate.
Oh, okay. So you're still young, right? 23 maybe?
Year left, 23, 24. And I had a horrific ski accident where I had bounced. I went off.
Another one?
Yeah, but I was, remember, I was like you. We were pretty good skiers. We went to Vail. I skied with the Goon Squad. I skied with Glenn Plake and Mike Hathaway.
You did with Plake?
Yeah, those are the kind of Mohawk.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, these guys were amazing.
I loved him, bro.
Yeah, amazing guys. So yeah, and the Warren Miller movies.
Yes,
all that. So we hiked to Chair 24 and up to a place near Scotty's, and there's a run up there.
And this was Vail? Or?
This is Mammoth.
Oh,
so
Mammoth.
This
I'm sorry.
is
so you said that. Yeah.
So what the entry point was is you're supposed to jump off this cornice, and the cornice is about 15 feet, and then it's straight down for about 1,000 feet.
Okay.
So
just a small.
Just small. But you know.
I know, you're young, you're like, I got this.
I got this, right? The ego is bigger than the body.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And then, but it narrows to about a 6 to 8 foot wide funnel where the
rocks start coming in.
So it's a funnel between the cliffs, and you hit that chute. It's the chute. The chute is probably 500, 600 feet long, something like that. And then it opens back up.
And you were skiing,
and you,
correct?
Skiing. And you want to go right, that's a good way. You don't want to go left, that's not a good way. So
I'm assuming I know how this. I'm assuming the left brain was.
The ego was dominant. I had my buddies there. I wanted to show them my Vail skills.
Oh, great!
I jumped off the cornice. I hit one step turn, took the next step turn, took the third one. Now this is on it's straight down.
Now people don't understand step turn. You're literally turning hard on a dime.
Yeah,
right?
It's just your whole body is just
you're
trying to hold yourself from falling.
Right.
And you're digging your ski into the hillside.
Because otherwise you'd be doing 300 miles an hour straight down and dying.
God works in mysterious ways along with the ego wrestling, because that ski, one of my skis popped off.
Oh my God.
Right in the beginning.
Oh.
So I don't know where that came from, but it came from, and I had my din set to 14.
I mean, you were super
crank.
I
was super tight,
yeah.
And so it just came off. And so I crashed, I'm falling, accelerating 9.8 meters per second squared. Speed of jumping out of an airplane, okay? So falling, and I hit with my foot the first cliff on the left, and I'm supposed to be in the chute.
Right.
And then suddenly the other ski splinters into a million pieces. My pole goes snap, my foot and shoe go, my leg goes.
So at this point, what are you thinking in your head?
Crap.
Okay.
And so
wow, you must have been young.
Bam, and I start ragdolling.
Yeah, totally.
Then it bounces me over to the other side.
Okay.
And I ragdoll.
And this is snow, or you're hitting rocks?
I'm hitting rocks.
Oh, God.
So I'm ragdolling off the rocks, pa-pum, pa-pum, pa-pum. And each time I hit the rocks, I hear this snap.
Is there a helmet?
Crap. No, this is before helmets. You remember those days.
I know, but I mean, you could have worn them, yeah.
Well, nobody wore helmets.
There's a lesson in there, folks.
I think it started the day after this.
Chaz is the reason why helmets and skiers, yeah.
So I hear snap, crack, and I'm trying to cover my head. That's all I'm thinking is just cover the skull. Cover the brain.
Because you were smart enough to know about that. Yeah.
Well, at least I had some medical training.
Yeah.
Right? So snapping, and I finally hit the chute.
Okay.
And I hear, shh. And when I'm going, shh, I'm going, okay, I'm still alive. I'm still alive. I'm still alive.
Right. Yeah.
And then I'm thinking, hopefully, I'm going right. No, I went left.
And so you went off a cliff.
I went off a cliff. And so I just remember I couldn't keep my hands in, and I started trying to keep my head up and started surfing my hands
doing
like
the whole
this.
stay up wing thing, yeah.
So I winged my arms, and I started counting. 1, 2, 3, 4.
This is to see
5.
how
This
long
is
you're
in the air.
Right, yeah.
And about 5,
okay.
lights out.
Oh, wow.
Lights out.
That's it.
That's it.
Done.
So I don't remember what happened by the time they kind of undug me, because I guess it fractured a little bit, and a little bit of avalanche kind of came down and kind of buried me a little bit. But anyway, they got to me.
Your skier friends were following you the whole time.
Yeah, well, they were down there watching, and they were up there.
Yeah.
So the guys who were down there watching, and they came over and they kind of dug me out. So when I woke up in the hospital during head surgery.
Oh, God. What?
And the doctor's putting staples into my skull.
Oh.
And from here to here, I had about 30 staples. From here, about 30, 40 staples from here to here. And so when I started waking up, I just remember the doctor going, "He's waking up, he's waking up."
Yeah, he's supposed to be drugged out, everybody. You didn't put enough drugs in him.
I had no drugs. I was knocked out.
So
they were just doing triage. They were just
I see, triage.
Anyway, and I said, "Don't put me out. Just finish the work." I didn't really say it like that. I was kind of mumbling because he holds back and he goes, "Hey," and then he wanted to see if I was oriented and whatnot. So, anyway, long story short, I had from the accident, I had some pretty hardcore neurological injuries.
I can imagine.
So during the recovery, I had ripped what was later diagnosed. I ripped my dural membrane around my brain, which is the covering that covers the brain.
Yeah, there's
a protective
thin
layer.
part.
Protects the layer from the food you eat, the acidity of the blood, different pathogens and stuff like that. So anyway, I had ripped the dura, so I had this leaky brain syndrome with a ripped dura. And so I developed about a month after the accident very, very hardcore neurological symptoms.
Ugh.
And not to relive it because it kind of brings back the emotion.
Yeah, you can shorten it up a little bit.
Anyway, it was like somebody lit the body on fire.
Okay.
Literally, lit on fire. Everywhere. A burning curse disease all over my body. Everywhere, global, everywhere. And then it means head to toe. So there was a year, literally, I couldn't even be touched. Because it was like sticking a finger in the light socket.
It was awful. If someone touched you, it was that sensitive.
Awful.
Oh, my God.
It was awful.
And you're done with school?
No, I wasn't quite done. I was just graduating.
How the hell did you get through school?
I had to get back.
Oh.
But they gave me a grace period of being out.
Okay.
Right. So anyway, long story short, then I had this depersonalization type of syndrome where, anyway, so it was...
There's a lot to it.
There's a lot of neurology.
I can imagine.
I had a lot of neurology. So basically, I wasn't in a coma, but it was, I moved home and I had all these neurological symptoms, and that lasted for 15 years.
What?
Yeah. Lasted for 50. I was well as a doctor, still with these terrible symptoms.
Oh, okay. So you were eased up a little bit, but
it was enough that I pushed. I still had that strong ethic and a strong drive.
Like, I'm still going to work this
and
out.
I had to get back to school because they were going to say, okay, you have to redo your whole internship unless your timeline you get back within 2 years.
Right.
So I got back to school, and I pushed myself, kind of nursed myself through it. It was really hard.
Oh, God, I can imagine.
And Holly was so cool. She never left my side. She was a...
Now, were you married at this point yet?
No.
Still
she
boyfriend,
was...
girlfriend?
Yeah, I don't know why she stayed. I was pretty sick.
I don't either, man. You haven't left my
I was hard enough to
obviously, she loved you, for sure. Yeah. That's crazy.
So anyway, long story short, we... later got married.
Okay.
And she married me while I was ill.
Oh, wow.
Right? And so... She was a great...
She basically accepted it regardless of what was going to happen. Because if she married you ill, she didn't know if you were going to get... She didn't know you were going to be amazing like you are now.
I don't know if she knew I had an insurance policy or what policy or what.
Like, I see something in this guy. I don't know what it
There's
is,
something there. There's some sort of insurance. Anyway,
oh, my God.
But what wound up happening was it matched my initial prayer. It broke my left brain down enough for me to look at things a little different.
I would think so, yeah. You took a whole different perspective.
Yeah,
right?
And so I, at that time, needed a release of judgment. It seemed like I was judging everything, even religion.
Oh, wow.
I was very... scrupulous with my Christianity.
Okay.
And so much so that I was fearful of other religions in a way, and I admit that now. I didn't admit it then. But I was fearful for them and their damnation and everything. Anyway, went into the story.
I knew what you're saying, yeah.
Anyway, I grew up with this strict scrupulosity is what it was.
Right.
And so much so that I think it was part of the accident energetically, because I asked to be released from judgment. Because you can't judge anybody or anything if you're really a true healer.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. If you're, I mean, JC didn't do it.
Right, exactly. But I needed to learn it.
Right.
So I had to break down the male ego and the attachment to fixation.
Interesting.
And I had a Christian fixation.
Yeah.
So anyway, through that, not that I'm not a Christ guy, I'm fully a Christ guy, but it softened the whole egoic, defensive positioning.
Right, like one way is the highway kind of thing.
It was a very release of the judgment of it. And so through that came anew, and what's kind of talking in front of you now is a different person.
Right.
Than he was before.
I can imagine. Yeah. That's interesting.
And there's really not a lot of Chaz left anymore. So there's Chaz, but there's not a lot of him left. He still has his own mood, and but he's not what he was. Certainly, he's not ego-fying. He's not attaching. He's not judging so much. He's more unconditional. He's got a, and I talk about him almost as that third person.
Of course, because it sounds like
it's not even me so much.
Moved on.
Kind of moved on.
That's awesome. So. That's awesome.
Anyway, so it kind of uses the persona of Chaz as more of the spirit now rather than the mind.
Okay.
And so the spirit kind of uses Chaz persona to express itself, and that's kind of what we see now.
That's awesome. Chaz, Well, before we get, that's really cool, honestly. Because but before we get to the next step, my spiritual journey of whiskey shooting,
I love that,
is definitely going to be different. And honestly, you know what? I'm going to encourage you to do a shot of your kombucha.
Okay, I'm
not sip your kombucha.
Okay,
just do a shot.
Pouring it in. Yeah, we need to do a shot together.
Yeah, of course.
That's right.
I'm good with that.
It's all.
All I'm saying
is the name of healing.
Exactly. And I mentioned which one we were doing, the Suntory whiskey. It's Japanese, first time I've ever done it, so this is perfect.
Can we cheers?
Absolutely.
I love it. That's COVID-friendly cheers.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm glad we're not using masks right now. That's good.
I'm not. I mean, we're outside. We've done the check before.
Okay, here we go. That one's really good.
So, this whiskey, to be honest, going down, not even a flinch. It's the after. It kind of came up my nose a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's called regurgitation.
There you go.
I'm not sure that's the best bedfellow whiskey.
That's probably one I definitely want with ice. Now, what is it you got
this
there?
One, obviously, it's a little thicker, and you.
It definitely.
The directions you're going to need to not shake it, but you need to churn it.
Oh, so once you actually produce this it'll say do not shake but turn.
Turn.
Okay.
Directions.
Because shaking it would probably do too much damage.
Well, shaking it actually, they high ferment, so
gotcha.
they can blow bottles away if you start shaking it.
All right. Well,
and you don't want to open it, fizz everywhere.
Yeah.
So the herbs, vitamins, and homeopathics.
Give me some.
Yeah, you need to try this one.
So this one's called what?
This one is liver protection.
Okay. Oh God, I need that right
It's liver protection right here.
Okay.
So this has the herbs, vitamins, homeopathics to protect the liver from any oxidative stress, as well as it actually is liver detox. So it's a detox booch.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to try that.
It's got the vitamins, herbs, and things. Why don't you try it right now?
I mean, I'm going to buy some.
Oh, there we go.
I'm going to be your biggest client.
Well, maybe you can take a little picture of the farm and put it on the site too, because we're going to do tasters down there.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
So here you go.
I'll try this quick. Definitely a different taste than the other one.
Yeah, a little different.
You can taste everything in it.
There's herbs in there.
There's stuff in there.
Yeah, so I have a little bit of work to do left on the taste before that.
Okay, that's going to be super good.
But it's going to be good.
It's not bad. I mean, kombucha itself has pungency. Let's be honest. It's kombucha.
I always figure get your health buzz on.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
I mean?
If you're going to drink healthy.
Yeah,
and get a buzz.
Drink healthy and hard.
Exactly.
If you want to be,
that's a good one.
Get hard and healthy. That's the thing. That's what it's
We'll leave the get hard alone.
See, that's Bucha Taco.
Yeah, exactly. I'd hate to see him on whiskey, but he's already a little buzzed on a couple of
exactly.
So I do want to hit on, not because we're in a time, but I just looked at my next shot. I do want to hit on these next 6 or so minutes.
You're already looking forward to it.
I'm excited about that.
Exactly.
But I do want to look forward to so you open up your practice at some point.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about who your clients are, other than what we know now, like me and families.
Yeah.
Have you done I could have swore you've said you've done stuff with Padres, or you know people, or maybe that was.
Yeah.
I mean,
so,
you've done studies. I don't
yeah,
know. You just
we've
been
had,
around.
we have had clients. We had a practice in Hollywood.
Oh, okay.
Some of our
Didn't know
clients, and I can't disclose the clients.
No, of course
names,
not.
But they were, believe me, bigwig Hollywood
So,
Scientologists. And
did you have this one
different-
first or Hollywood first?
Hollywood was first.
Okay,
Actually.
okay.
So we did that right out
After
of
college.
chiropractic
Okay.
college.
Mm-hmm.
And Holly and I got married then.
Okay.
We had cool patients. They
Yeah,
were awesome.
I can imagine.
So we did that for a while, and then we came down and I worked in Solana Beach for
Okay.
quite a few years with the Dr. Glenn Frieder. And
Okay.
he's fantastic. So
I think I know him.
he's a fantastic
Yeah.
physician. And at that time, that was Acacia Health Center, and we ran 5-6 different holistic chiropractors, doctors.
Okay, so it was more like a practice
Yeah,
at that point,
it was
like a
a group.
multiple group.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that was a blast.
Okay.
So it was pretty much on the beach in Solana Beach.
Yeah.
We did that for years.
That's awesome.
But being from Valley Center, and Holly and I wanted to start a family, we knew we wanted to get out of the city.
Right.
So
Solana Beach.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Where were you living?
We were living in La Costa.
Oh, okay. So you were over there.
Yeah, we
All
were.
right.
So we lived on the La Costa golf course.
Yeah.
We had Carly.
Okay, La Costa Glen.
La Costa golf course, the La Costa Resort.
Oh, resort. Okay.
Resort.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
resort.
I know where that's at. Yeah.
So anyway, so that's when we had Carly.
So how long ago? I mean, not to stop you.
Yeah.
But 5 years Hollywood, maybe 5 years Solana Beach.
That's about I was probably in Solana for about 8 years.
Oh wow. Okay.
Because I was doing both. When we started Valley Center, I was still in Solana. I was going back.
Okay.
So yeah. Anyway, we started Valley Center in 2000.
Okay.
So we started
20
Crossroads
years now.
Crossroads Health Center.
Okay.
Yeah, in Valley Center. I was already at Glenn's for 3 or 4 years prior to
Yeah.
that. You know, that sort of.
So let me talk. How did you get Crossroads? Just curious.
We were looking for a name, and it was the name of the church we moved into.
Oh, yeah, Crossroads
and
Church.
we interestingly
It was a suite,
enough,
the church.
our first practice was in the church.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's interesting.
So that space was a small little church.
Yeah, the church had been abandoned.
Right.
And it was open for businesses.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Oh,
And
that's
so we
awesome.
moved into and now it's a daycare center.
Yeah.
They moved
Mhm.
into a daycare center. So it's not
classic.
open anymore because of COVID.
Yeah.
But, you know, but at that time, it was,
That's
anyway,
awesome.
Crossroads
That's
Church.
what I came up with.
And we went, what a great name.
Yeah.
We were looking for a name anyway. We were looking for, yin yang chiropractic.
Sure,
or
sure.
something, you know, like
Something like that.
total health.
Not sure, yeah. But
Holistic
Crossroads
healing, yeah.
is still a great thing because you're at a crossroads, right? I mean,
so
it's still a
it
good
worked
thing.
out really well for
Yeah.
our practice because our practice is certainly more than chiropractic. It's holistic healthcare.
Sure.
And it has to do with the whole person rather than looking at the body's
Mhm.
parts. Our slogan is, we look at the cause of the problem rather than merely treating the symptoms with a drug or surgery.
Okay.
And whatever the problem is, it could be something in the body, something in the mind, or something in the energy field.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's a disease process, dis-ease in the body, we approach it from a holistic perspective, non-drug perspective, where we aren't trying to treat it with a drug.
Right.
Our focus is to heal it.
Right.
See, healing and treatment are two different things.
Yeah.
One gets you to the door, but it never gets you inside. The other one gets you inside.
Right.
So the idea is to go for a healing. So Holly and I we're passionate for healing. It's about creating healing drinks, support the body
Sure.
in whatever mechanism it is to create healing. And I'll tell you, it's more than nutrition.
Of course. Oh
Okay.
God, yeah.
So it includes structure, which is the spine, the nervous system, the cranial bones, the cerebral spinal fluid, the lymph flow, the muscles, the ligaments, and the tendons, and the structure of the organs. So that's one sect, the 4 sects. The other one is chemistry, which has to do with the organs, the systems, the zones. The chemistry meaning the vitamins, the nutrition, the intake, the assimilation, and the elimination of those things, as well as infections, microbes, and toxins, which is staph, strep, yeast, virus, bacteria, parasites, and allergies. So
Okay.
not to lose you.
No,
There's a lot there. Just in case you want to know.
it was so funny as he was talking. I'm like, I wasn't lost, but
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
he must really know his shit. I'm like, all this stuff. It's not rehearsed. That's for damn sure. It's like ingrained in you.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I teach, so
That's what I
part of
mean.
the
Yeah,
school,
it's
so-
funny. And I don't want to stop him right now, but I will take a second to say,
Do
first of all, my
another-
head's popping up. No, another shot.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
when
one more minute.
when Dr. Chaz has treated me before, I mean, obviously I don't sit in my other sessions with my wife and kids, so I can't speak for them other than when they come home. But it's hilarious because it's so funny. I'll test him because at first I was so anti, not because I didn't believe. It's just,
You want to see
You're like, whatever,
what is
right?
this guy about?
And I didn't like go,
Yeah.
I'm going to hide something from him. I just didn't divulge it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not here for this. I'm just, hey, man, I'm here to see it. And he'd be like, 19 different this and that and all this different stuff. And all of a sudden he's like, do you have like, something that you hit your head or something? Like, son of a bitch. You did it. Like, I'm like, he finds it. And then he's like, yeah, let's do this and that. And all of a sudden I'm like, and it's not just adjustments, like, the stuff they do, well, he does. I can't speak for anyone else because I've never been a holistic. So I'm sure different people do different things. But the stuff he puts out and that he actually does and you're like, why are you massaging a bone in my jaw and it hurts so freaking bad? And he's like, oh, that's because your toe is out or something. Like, I mean, I'm probably wrong, but all I'm saying is that's how bizarre it is, right? He's like, hold on, let me crack your right toe because you have a left side headache.
And I love that you perceive it that way. I love it.
I know, that's the greatest part, right?
It's mystical, magical, something.
Like, he knows what he's doing, but I don't think he's a witch doctor or something.
That's fun.
But it's because
which doctor you want to go to, right?
Yeah, it's just so classic because that's how I totally feel every time. But it works, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It does work, but it's just such an interesting. It took me a while.
Well, the body's holistic.
Yes,
it's a whole person. It's not just parts.
Right.
It's not like trying to examine a part.
And when you look at your board, it all makes sense. When you see all your the people and all the stuff and how nerves are connected,
the idea, I'm
trying
to explain it to you as we go is the best I can.
Never do that again. Just stay with just saying, this is what we're about to do. Don't tell me that this finger...
have some more detox, Booch. How about that?
Don't tell me that my right finger is going to fix my left kneecap. I mean, like that... just tell me.
I think it's hilarious.
But don't point it to me because all I know is it works. So it's the coolest thing ever.
I want to experience it. So it's subjective. Your experience with it is subjective rather than objective.
Yes.
So it's not coming from a left brain. It's coming from a right brain.
Right.
So that's the turn of it. It comes into, you're the subject.
Yeah.
You feel it. You connect with it.
That's awesome.
Okay, that works for me.
Well, speaking of connections,
gosh,
I do need another shot of whiskey. I just feel disconnected, and especially with all this kombucha flowing, I feel so healthy. Now, this is a good
Your body's detoxing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't even feel buzzed because you're amazing kombucha. Yeah.
Exactly.
So this one's Monkey Shoulder, which I wanted to do on the Veterans episode, but my buddy didn't end up getting it, and I didn't realize he didn't get it. So it's a Scotch whiskey, but he asked how it was, and honestly, it is super, super good. So it's a Scotch whiskey, not my typical bourbon whiskeys that I usually have.
Yeah.
So
Scotch is usually always good.
At least cheer that.
Yeah, okay, I'll chill.
You don't have to shoot it. I just said cheer your drink.
We'll do a little shot together.
So cheers, brother.
It's called mirroring and matching.
Okay. But yeah, I was impressed. I really was. I put it out right away that this is a very good.
Wow. That's good. Maybe I should do shots of it. That's it.
It's probably the secret. You sell shooters too. Like a 6-pack plus shooter.
Yeah, that's not bad.
It's not like an emergency kit.
You got your shots in there.
All right, so hold
anyway,
on. There was something I wanted to hit on back in that you were talking about, and I was like, oh, I wanted to bring that up later. It wasn't about the healing. It was about. God darn it! I knew I was going to forget. I should have. I had it in the head, but I
4 shots.
Yeah,
that's what that is.
Yeah, well,
it's
too.
Left frontal cortex. That's what you get.
So, let's get into this. So, it's not a doctor thing, but you've been in a band for a long time, right? I do want to bring that up because honestly, so we're sitting here one time, and I'm not saying he is now. But I mean, where's your music and where did all that start and what did you play? And
so I play guitar. The kids are amazing musicians, by the way. They're in theater.
Yeah, you just said Wyatt was studying music.
He just got a scholarship for music.
Oh, okay.
And they're producing. The 2 boys, they wrote a play.
Okay.
For Styx, the band Styx.
Wow.
They wrote a play. It wasn't produced for Styx.
Right.
So legally, they couldn't do it.
Sure.
They produced the whole play for the band Styx and rewrote all the music and played 5 instruments themselves, and redid everything. They each play 5 instruments. They're fantastic, and their voices.
How many people want to just tell him to shut the hell up?
Well, I can brag on them. All right.
That's what I'm saying. You already are.
Yeah,
I'm not saying shut up because we don't hear it. I'm like, oh, okay. So not only do you and your wife sit around and like drink kombucha and study things, your kids are like, oh, let's see what instrument we can pick up tonight.
This is not prideful.
No, I'm not saying you're bragging. I'm saying it's amazing. Is what I'm saying.
I'm in awe.
It's I'm sure you're just like, holy crap.
Carly's a writer. Her book is coming out.
Yeah.
It's coming out this next week. She's got a book called Voyages of the Alexandria, and that's going to be coming out on Amazon Books this
Really?
week. Yeah.
She actually is released. That's
It's
awesome.
released, yeah.
That's
so
amazing.
Voyages of the Alexandria.
And what is that about? Is it science fiction?
It's a sci-fi fantasy.
Oh, nice.
And it's got a little steampunk vibe to it. And it's got written all the heart-endearing kind of classic type of tale.
Cool.
It's
is it going to be audio?
beautifully written. Well, once it's produced, and once that'll be the.
You
next
let me know when that happens.
You like to
I
listen
don't
to
read.
it.
No, I gave up reading back in high school.
Well, maybe you have the dyslexia.
I just don't like it. I'm all about this. I listen to audiobooks 24/7.
You're AVK. You're
That's
AKV.
why I'm doing videos.
You're audio, then kinesthetic, then visual.
There you go.
Yeah, that's
there
good.
You go.
Yeah,
That's whatever you just said.
Exactly.
So what was I just saying? Though I brought up the
Oh,
band.
you're talking about the band.
How did you get that started?
So actually, I've been on the radio.
Okay.
I've had a song, and it was actually on the radio.
With your band or
with
yourself?
my original music.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did my original songs.
Okay.
And I've written maybe 50 songs.
Yeah. No, I know there's a lot of original.
3
stuff.
of which
Yeah.
were originally produced,
Okay.
professionally produced.
Okay.
And we were going to do the album and everything else.
This was how many years ago?
About 10.
Like when all that
About
was
10 years
Oh,
ago.
okay.
Yeah,
so when
this
you were
was
doing that
after.
stuff at the ball fields and all that for like the big fireworks and all that,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
like you were in the prime.
No, that was not the band my
okay,
original band.
okay.
That was Goof Around Band, and we put together a little...
Yeah, like when you would go to
we
Gopher
go to
Hole
Gopher
and all that.
Hole
Yeah,
and
yeah,
play
yeah.
there every week.
Okay,
did
but
that
you
for-
had like a real band. You were putting out music.
My brother was the bassist.
Okay.
I had my best friend as the drummer, and we
Okay.
started it.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and we started this band called...
So 3 guys?
Yeah, 3 guys.
What are you,
It was
ZZ
called
Top?
It's what it was. So I was guitarist
Yeah.
and lead guitarist, and then James was the bass, and
Uh-huh.
my best friend was the drummer.
And who sung? You,
And we
right?
started our first... Yeah,
Yeah.
all the songs there. And then the first song we started, we did Soul Condition, and that's when that got radio play, Soul Condition.
Okay.
And that was really kind of honoring to get it on the radio.
Now,
'cause
what
that
was the
pretty fun.
music? Was it bluegrass or
It's
jazz? Or?
Alternative pop rock.
Okay.
Kind of
Really?
music,
You
yeah.
gotta let me. You got. Is
Yeah,
it still
yeah.
available on like?
You can go to
iTunes?
you can do iTunes, and
Really?
it's under Motor Love. So
Okay.
we changed it over to
Oh,
Motor
Motor
Love.
Love, okay.
And then another one of my best friends was the drummer. He took over the other drummer's spot.
Okay.
And he's the drummer on that. So,
Okay, that's cool.
Anyway, and we had a good time for
That's
years.
awesome.
We went around the county and
Yeah,
played
yeah,
shows
yeah.
and whatnot.
Very little things. I mean, I don't know a ton about. I mean, obviously, I know enough to bring it up, but that's what I'm saying. I just find it interesting because it's such a. You know, when I have these guests on, I try to keep it to a certain time because there's just so much I can learn from everything, right?
Sure,
like everyone
everybody's
could be just
story
an
could
amazing
be
story. It
days
could be
and
days and
days.
days,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
But what I like to hit on is just when I find out like things I've always wanted to know about. Like I knew you were in a band, but I never knew you had a song and where it came from, and
Well, there you go.
obviously I didn't know. I knew you were in some kind of accident, but you never got into the detail of that.
There you go.
And then I never knew you actually had an accident at 18 years old that you kept skiing after that, like
Yeah.
some goofy ass.
Yeah, of course.
And how you met Holly, and,
Yeah, there
and how
you
you
go.
got into holistic. It's just such a cool. It's just a cool thing.
Very cool.
So I love that part of it.
Cool life.
Yeah, so cool.
Journey is it requires a lot. All of us have our stories. Every
Yeah.
one of us.
Absolutely. No matter-
Everybody's watching this.
Yeah.
They have their story. And you grow in consciousness.
Yeah.
And you grow and release and learn and grow and release and learn.
Yeah.
You know, that's the whole point of things.
And then you're right. I agree. Everyone who watches this, listens to it, has a story.
Yeah.
And I feel like I don't want anyone's story.
Has somebody interviewed you for your story?
No.
Oh.
But I've
Well,
had
maybe
2 or 3 people ask me to do
maybe
it.
you need that.
I should do that on
Yeah.
season 2
Yeah,
because I
maybe.
feel like a lot of people.
Exactly, yeah. Somebody's
I do
got
have a
that.
hell of a story, but
Uh-huh.
it might, like you
A lot
said,
of people-
go days.
Exactly.
But what's cool is, but I agree with you, but I feel like some people, I don't want anyone to think that their story is less important because
No,
I haven't
certainly.
reached out to them.
Oh, yeah,
it's
absolutely.
super hard. I don't
Yeah.
know everybody, first of all. And second of all, a lot of people don't want to put it out there, or a lot of people don't want to even show their face on camera. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just the person.
Well, you know,
'Cause I've had
public
people
speaking is
reject me.
number one fear.
Of course.
You know, and this is, you got a big audience here,
Yeah.
especially if you put it on YouTube.
Right, I know. The fear of someone watching is like, uh-oh. But you know what's funny? The fear of not doing another shot is here.
Oh, boy,
So-
he's almost to number 6.
5.
This is 5.
Yes.
He's almost to 6.
Next
now.
up, honestly, is all about the
And when
kombucha.
6, I'm going to have to walk him home.
No, this is nothing. These shots are little, Chaz.
Oh, they're nothing.
Oh, you should see the ones I've done before.
They're wimpies.
I mean, these
Okay.
are. You did a good job by getting me a 1-ounce shot glass tonight.
Usually you have people bringing 2
Oh,
ounces.
I've got 2.5ers, and these are all 90 to 100 proof. So believe me,
Well,
it's.
cheers again.
So next up, I got a good topic.
This one's for this drink here is for my cardiovascular system.
Well, I'm glad you did it after I shot mine.
Maybe we'll wait on the brain protection till later.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, this has never been done before because I don't want to take away from the whiskey, but I want him to bring his, for the last segment and before I do my last shot, I want him to bring his weird-ass kombucha stuff over here. This is my last shot, so I'll save that back here. So put your, pickle jar.
Okay,
you got
so
going
this is not a pickle jar.
I call it that because it's a pickle jar,
Inside,
but it's got
they
some
call
weird
these
stuff.
mushrooms, and they're actually scobies, and this is in a fermented tea.
But it's a SCOBY, a mushroom.
A SCOBY is a colonized system of bacteria and yeast.
Oh, okay. So it's not the mushroom itself.
Yeah.
These are mushrooms, but the process is called SCOBY.
They're not mushrooms at all. But they call them mushrooms.
Oh, okay.
But because they look like mushrooms.
Oh, okay. My bad.
And there's several in this.
Okay.
But each SCOBY contains different types of bacteria and yeast.
Okay.
And now,
like gut cultures kind of stuff?
Yeah, there's good bacteria in it, and it's called probiotic.
Yes, okay.
Right. So the reason that you drink kombucha is to build your immune system and build your gut immune system. It actually helps your body.
So it's like the probiotics that you take for your gut.
You've heard taking acidophilus.
Or eat like Greek yogurt. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying those are all probiotics, but that's what kombucha is.
That's what kombucha is.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you have immune issues, it's just a good thing to do.
Of
because
course.
Probiotic is a natural component of bacteria that's in the soil. When you take a carrot and put it in your mouth, it's filled full of probiotic.
Right.
The problem is they take the carrot, they irradiate it, they over-clean it, they cleanse it, and they pull all the bacteria off the carrot.
Got it.
And so naturally our body's evolved over the half an eon that humans have been here
to
basically have bacteria. Our body's 60% bacteria. So we're deficient in bacteria.
And so putting it back in
makes
up for you.
For the deficiency that our modern today diets cause.
Of course, yeah.
Right?
No, I know all about that.
So drinking kombucha is a very good thing. And I thought, gosh, people do kombucha anyway.
So much, right?
But what we need to do is, if people are going to drink, you might as well do something that's healthy.
Absolutely.
Start with a kombucha, hard kombucha.
Right.
And then I've added my own proprietary blend to the kombucha to make it protective.
Well, I feel like, and honestly, I don't know much about kombucha. My wife loves hard kombucha and doesn't do a lot of it just because it's not every day that you know, there's like certain ones down south or in the coast. But what's funny is I feel like you really I've done a little bit of research on kombucha.
Oh, cool.
Okay. But not I'm not playing up. I'm just saying, like, I realize that what I'm trying to get across is that I don't feel like everyone else puts the time into the minerals and the stuff that you're talking about. You get what I'm saying? Like, they're producing alcoholic
first
kombucha
of all,
to drink it.
I need to say this. Most kombuchas that you drink are fermented black tea.
Oh.
With sugar.
Okay.
They take sugar, which feeds white refined sugar,
right,
and feed the SCOBY with it.
Okay.
There is white refined sugar left in your healthy kombucha.
When
you go to the store and you buy kombucha, you've got black tea with all that caffeine,
right,
and you've got a very unhealthy amount of white refined sugar left
honestly,
in the product.
You know, I study. I'm like a certified porcine, and that's the one thing that's killing everybody is white sugar.
White sugar, and so the remedy is also the poison. So in the market, I'm changing the whole thing.
Right.
We are not using white sugar for these.
Okay.
We are not using black tea.
So
we're using I can't tell you yet.
No, I meant I don't.
We're going to use. It's a proprietary blend. We are using a caffeine-free tea.
Okay.
So
it is tea. Kombucha is still tea.
It's still a fermented tea.
Got it.
Without using white sugar and a low glycemic base, so it doesn't spike your blood sugar and cause diabetes.
Dude,
it doesn't hurt your body. It's good, isn't it?
It's very. I mean, like to me, like I need sweet a little bit in something like that. And your first one tasted like there was sugar in it.
Yes.
But it was just natural sweet.
Yeah, that's the elixir of life with fruit juice.
Oh wow,
so it has some fruit juice in it. It's still 6 point. The other thing I'm doing with these SCOBYs is I'm breeding out the Candida albicans out of these. Now, there's a yeast in all SCOBYs.
Now, you know you just lost everyone that was listening.
Well, okay, so there's a yeast that's a bad bacteria. You know when you get a yeast infection?
Yeah. Well, I don't.
But if a person has any form of yeast infection, it can be in the gut, it can be in the vagina, it can be in the mouth, it can be in the brain, it can be in the blood. That's typically Candida albicans, and that's already in the SCOBYs.
Oh, wow.
That's the other problem.
Oh, in the other stuff.
In the other stuff, everything that's out there. So I'm breeding it out. So we're going to have our own SCOBY line, and we're going to start selling.
I mean, look at that. That's just gnarly, right? I mean, It just looks like a bunch of chicken breast marinated, frankly, if you ask me. And then you got now. What's this thing over here? This jug.
Well,
see the jug right here.
I just wanted to show you what it looks like
right
with
there.
the SCOBY in the tea. So this is the first ferment. Now we have.
So is that almost ready to drink?
Yeah, this is an example. No, this will be regular kombucha with our special SCOBY.
Okay.
With our special caffeine-free tea.
Okay.
And with no white refined sugar in there. And it's fermenting using the SCOBY, going to make a beautiful kombucha that's a healthy kombucha.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to have
So
Dr. Buchart's kombucha line as well.
we couldn't drink that right now.
I
mean, we could
you could.
Of course,
It's
not
just
being
not
unhealthy. It's just not
not
ready. Got it. So you take one of these
It's not ready.
SCOBYs
But
and
you want
set
to
that
try
in
the
there?
tea? You can
I
try
wanna
it.
try it.
Yeah, put it in your shot glass.
Yeah, go for it, man. I want to
Yeah.
try it. There you go.
But this is it's probably
This is scary because it's got one of those giant white things in the bottom or two. It's very creepy looking. It looks
I haven't
like,
tasted this. This is not ready yet.
well,
so
you know me. I don't give a damn.
Let's see what it is. It's still a tea.
Yeah, it looks cool though. It's very white, very tea-ish.
Yeah,
Let's
there
go
you
for
go.
it, bro.
Let's try it.
Let's try your
Sure.
unweird tea.
Not that bad.
It tastes like tea,
That's
but
not
healthy.
bad. That's
I mean,
healthy. Yep.
So you're telling me this thing here that's forming in this jar?
Yeah.
It's like you stick it forms from what? From everything together, it coagulates, or is it an actual thing you stick in there?
So once we finish the kombucha, which is the first ferment with the SCOBY,
Okay.
then we re-ferment it again to create high alcohol kombucha.
Oh, okay.
So it's a
okay.
two-step process.
I got you. So right
So
now there's no alcohol.
There's no alcohol in that. That's
Got
why
it.
it tastes like a tea.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you for
That's
explaining
the
that.
base.
Okay.
Okay.
So then you do something else again, which then turns into alcohol.
Exactly.
But you're not adding alcohol. It's just a fermenting process that turns into.
Yeah.
It's freaking awesome, dude. It's so cool.
Fun science.
Yeah, that should do
Yeah.
another shot.
So our company, Dr. Buchart, will be like a steampunk vibe
Yeah.
to the company. So
course.
we call us the steampunk scientists. Yeah.
Do you have some kind of
Yeah,
like
we have a logo.
You ready
I'm
for
drawing
that?
the logo.
Oh, okay.
Right now,
All
so
right,
I'm working
good.
on that.
Nice. Well, we'll have to.
Which
get
I was
that
going to
out.
say, I was a comic
Yeah,
book
yeah,
artist
yeah.
actually too. I came out with a comic book, my brother and I, called Boards and Swords, and we had a comic book in year 2000.
Really?
Yeah. So
All right.
that was
sorry.
something that we talked about.
I'm sure you guys all see me, but it's my low battery, so I have to.
Oh, there you go.
For us,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's recording without that. Everyone's like, "Why are you touching the screen with your finger?"
Keep it going.
But anyway,
Just wanna delete that.
I did not want to miss that part. So you actually made a comic book. Did it go to press or?
It did. We printed a 5,000 run comic book, and not to pump us, but we were the #1 selling comic book at the San Diego Comic Book Convention, Comic Con.
Really?
#1 seller.
In what year?
Independent, year 2000, as an independent comic. We sold 3,800 comics,
Yeah.
and we signed them all.
Wow.
It was awesome.
That is you and James.
Yeah, James and I. Yeah.
Oh
That was
my
our thing.
god, dude!
And
I
we
thought
were
James was just your foot tub
And
guy.
we
at the
were-
play. I didn't realize he was a
Tech.
drummer.
Laser tech. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Laser tech.
James is bass.
But he does the
bass.
foot
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just saying, like, I didn't
Yeah,
realize he
he's
was
got
like.
some talent.
That's
Yeah,
amazing,
he's great.
man.
Yeah,
That's
he's got some
why you
talent.
keep him around. Yeah, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
That's not. I'm sorry, it's just cracking me up. Like you comic book. Oh god, I swear. That's weird.
That's part of the story. I guess if you look back at Chaz, do you go, okay, what have you done? I gotta mention that one because
That's what I'm saying. That's amazing.
We
You got a
actually
song on
wrote
frickin-
14 cartoon episodes and a movie,
Yeah.
and we were with Hanna-Barbera as a cartoon show.
Really?
That was going to be
It
produced.
just didn't get picked up.
Well, I can't go to
Right.
court over
Of
this.
course, yeah.
And I'm not going to go to court.
No.
But what we believe is they took all the meat and potatoes and came out with their own award-winning cartoon show called Captain Planet.
Okay.
Because our bad
Your
versus
kinda
good guys,
concept, yeah.
our concept where the good guys were trying to heal the bad guys rather than to kill the bad guys, and it was still superhero.
Of course. And to be honest, they could have done that 20 years ago. They weren't gonna. You were just some small time people. They're not. They could take advantage of you and
Whatever.
never know it. Yeah.
Whatever.
But yeah. So that's
Anyway,
the good news is
not
you
to drag that one out.
Yeah.
That little nutshell.
The good news is you know,
Yeah,
right?
I guess.
No, I'm saying. I mean,
Hey, it would have been nice to have a
residual check.
a residual cartoon show check. Yeah, that would have been fine. And a movie. We still may move it forward, and I'm still
Yeah.
moving it forward. So if anybody's a screenwriter, I just need to finish that screenplay. I'm so close. I just need to work on it and get it finished.
Yeah,
contact me.
And his parents, I mean, his kids will be the freaking musicians for the screenplay. I swear to God. Other than being a chiropractic, does Holly play bongos or?
Oh yeah, she's talented as everything. She's like the homeschool. She's the.
Oh, that's right. You guys.
She homeschooled the kids.
That's right. Oh my God, I forgot about that. I mean, you brought that up. So she literally. No pandemic.
Okay.
She chose to do that for how many? All these years.
All these years, yeah, 23 years.
And working
23 years at home, and office manage the office, and be a doctor, and homeschool, and be. She runs circles around me.
She's a story of her own.
I think you should interview her next.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, she's
her own.
Oh,
yeah,
big time.
We need women on the show, actually. Yeah. Not that it's heavy guys. I mean, I've had 3 or 4 women. I'm just saying that would be a great interview.
I think
because it sounds like. I mean, I love Holly. She's super smart, but I've never really delved into her.
Well, I think once you start down a path with Holly, your jaw will be open. You'll be entertained and at the same time compelled to question the way we all do things. Why she married me.
I'd be like, you seem so happy. She'll give Chaz all the credit, though. I guarantee that. Yeah,
well, we give each other the credit.
Yeah, I know. So I just want to take a second to, first of all, thank Chaz, Dr. Chaz. Chaz, I mean, he's close enough to me. I don't ever call him Dr. Chaz, but tonight I did because you are a doctor, and you are a very good doctor. But this is an amazing place. I have to get this before the sun breaks that pole, and we're going to be like, it's going to be behind us. And we're going to be like, something from what's that movie?
Well, the light will be a halo.
What's the movie? Cocoon.
Cocoon. Okay.
The light's like,
Now remember, I'm studying. I didn't watch movies.
You saw Cocoon. I know you did.
I don't remember.
You didn't see it?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Oh, really?
I'm going to go watch it. We're going to Netflix it tonight.
It's an old movie. You would love to watch it. No, I think you would love it.
Yeah.
I think you would enjoy it.
There we go.
Because it's very, I don't know. No, I'm saying like it's more I'm not giving you some weird sci-fi. It's a very good movie. Who's the guy that did the Oats, Quaker Oats commercial for years? He died. Walt somebody.
You're good. You are pulling it out now.
I'm just trying to
I just had a conversation with a patient today about Gumby and Pokey.
And
Mr. Bill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Mr. Bill Live. Yeah,
so
awesome. So my last shot is Michter, and I'm not changing the subject. I'm just
it's just time.
Yeah. So Michter's is one that one of my interviewers, Joel Freeman, super trainer. He ended up telling me to do this one, but we didn't do it on his show. So I'm going to do it right now. And
there you go.
Cheers. To
you.
Dick. You
I'll do this whole thing. There we go. This is detox elixir.
I love it. Now I've been drinking this. You don't want to do one shot of whiskey? I mean, no, of all these, I'm saying, of all the high quality ones, would you like to try this Frank Sinatra?
Here's how this looks. So, I could muscle test to figure out what whiskey is best for your body.
Yeah.
So, this will look strange.
No, I got it.
Okay.
This is perfect.
This is
what muscle testing is. Now,
so what you do, there's
one?
I need to preset this because there's an intelligence that comes up, down, inside out. The power that made the body is still in the body.
Okay.
Okay? Mm-hmm. And there's a local response and a non-local response with it. The local response is your subjective indicator as to you've had all these whiskeys.
Of course.
You know which one's best for me.
Right.
Innately within you, you know what's best for me.
Right.
And which one you want to give me.
Transfer to you.
So when I say this whiskey is best for me, if it doesn't agree with your subconscious cannot stay strong and tell me a lie.
Right.
So therefore you weaken temporarily.
Right. Yeah. Just enough for you to pick up on.
Enough for me to pick up on.
Yeah, that's freaking awesome. This is real stuff.
Okay, so you can say for Chaz's highest level of enjoyment.
Okay, for Chaz's highest level of enjoyment.
This is the best whiskey of these 6.
This is the best whiskey of these 6.
Touch. No. Do the next one. Do the next one. That one's not bad.
Okay.
Next one. Next one. Next one. Okay, go back to this one again. Okay, you start strengthening actually on this one.
That's weird because you said Scotch. you said all scotches are
So
good.
I probably
so subconsciously you imprinted the fact that
exactly
scotch,
to see how that
freaking
works.
amazing.
Okay, and I wasn't even thinking that was a scotch. I forgot you said that.
No, you said
Yeah,
all
okay.
scotch whiskeys are good.
Well, there you go.
And you're
All
amazing,
right,
dude.
There we go.
I'm not going to give you a lot.
Okay, a little bit is good.
Yeah.
But I have my detox elixir.
Yeah, no, I just
That'll
meant.
probably be okay.
You're
You
fine.
have to do another one.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so,
Of this
yeah,
one.
if you're going to do it.
No, I'm good.
Because Mila's coming to pick you up.
Yes.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, I'm not worried about driving.
Okay.
That's for damn sure.
You better eat tonight, though.
I ate a ton before I came.
All right.
I had like carne asada.
All right,
cheers,
work on
but
some keto stuff.
Monkey
All right.
shoulder.
There we go. And with a name like Monkey Shoulder, see.
I've already had it. He's going to enjoy it and take a second.
Oh, yeah.
That's
okay,
good, huh?
now this has in it everything I'm looking for.
Yeah, it's super amazing.
It's got the heat, which doesn't start with the heat. It's got middle stream heat, and then it finishes.
It definitely finishes
and
with
it stays. It doesn't go up. It doesn't like increase its heat value.
Mhm.
The same BTU stays the whole time.
The BTU,
The
I like
BTU.
it. Yeah.
And then it's got a little peat moss in it.
Okay.
I can taste the peat moss, which is yummy.
So obviously he needs to be on the show because I just shoot it and go, that was good, that was not so good. He's all like peat moss, and I feel like there's a tone of licorice in there. No, I just no. I'm saying like that's making,
maybe the last one's
you're
got
bringing
it.
all kinds of flavors and stuff. Well, that being said, I just want to take a second to thank you so much for joining the show. And one more plug, even though it wasn't really a plug, I had no idea if he's actually making his own kombucha. He just said, I want to drink hard kombucha. So I thought you were going to drink someone else's hard kombucha.
No.
So the fact that you're making your own
Yes.
kombucha, it's called what?
So it's called Dr. Okay, so we're going to come out with our line in another month or two.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's a
It's not
September.
out
So
yet.
so in September, it might be out for the video.
Yeah,
so
September, whatever the first
right
Wednesday
around
in
September, and we'll do
yeah.
a tasting. I'll disclose it.
Okay.
Our website is under organicsbeverages.com.
Okay.
Organics,
Right.
IX.
Okay. Organics with an X. Okay.
Beverages.com.
Okay.
And Dr. Bouchart's elixirs are on there, and then we're going to have a tasting. We'll do it at the barn and maybe get some photos of it. Yes,
Nice.
That kind of stuff.
Well, I'll
So
definitely
we'll do
push
that,
the hell
and then
out
we're
of
gonna and so the idea is to start with our own line. I have a great business partner, and we have our fermenters downstairs, and if we need to get bigger, we will.
Yeah.
We'll go from there. So
That's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so
Yeah,
much for
you're so
joining me
welcome.
tonight.
Yeah, very
And
good.
guys, make sure when you guys get this to tune in and go to that website, Organics
beverages.
Beverages with an X, IX.
The IX.
Right.
That's
Dot
it.
com.
.com.
Doctor. Don't ask me to remember.
Dr.
it.
Bouchard.
Dr. Bouchard.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
kombucha.
Rhinehart.
Oh,
Bouchard.
Bouchard. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
right,
awesome.
yeah.
How do you spell it? Booch.
Booch. BOOCH.
And then
HART.
HART.
Yeah,
All
Dr.
right,
Bouchard.
Cool.
And the other plugs are Crossroads Health Center.
Well, of course, we
Yeah,
brought up
yeah.
the name. Yeah. It's
And
easy.
then the Institute for Holistic Medicine.
which is your teaching class.
That's my school.
Your school.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. You actually have a school, but
We didn't
it's
talk
in,
about that.
it's in your cross.
That's a big thing. And I've written 2 textbooks, and but we have time for that.
Listen, this guy's done more than anybody on the show. So as much as we love, no, seriously, I'll put all the information in your text
Oh, great.
on the video
All
for
right.
sure.
Yeah, it's awesome. Not to
Good
plug
Lord,
it.
have mercy. No, I'm just saying, like,
I can just talk about the school. I love
I
the
can't
school.
even fit all his stuff in. That's how amazing he is. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys
And
next
blessings
week.
to you, spontaneous,
Yes.
miraculous
God
to everyone
bless.
involved who's watching. Yeah.
Peace out.
Good.